What's up, everybody? Hey, I just want to show you guys something really cool. So, as you know, I'm building mass page sites, and it's kind of what I do, just even for clients. So I'm sort of selling it as a service, and not. I don't get into the detail with the clients about mass page sites. I mean, we don't call it that, but basically, I sell it as a service. So what I want to show you guys is some really cool results. And I'm also going to take you through my build process and my ranking process. I'm not going to get into the technical details, I'm not going to get into how to use the software that I use. That'll be another tutorial, and there's a bunch of videos out there on the web, so there's some halfway decent tutorials. So if you really want to watch a tutorial, you can check them out. So I use a tool called Mass Page Creator, and I know a lot of you are on WordPress, and I use WordPress too. In fact, most client sites, when they come in, they're on WordPress. And, that's all well and good. Everybody's familiar with WordPress. But what I've noticed, and this is just anecdotal, but I've noticed that I can rank a lot faster building pages in HTML. So what I do is I use the WordPress front end, upload MPC, which is Mass Page Creator, and then MPC runs alongside of WordPress, so it doesn't interfere with anything that WordPress is doing. But what it allows you to do is build HTML pages, or you can use the the PHP extension, which is what I use. But it allows you to build the pages on a WordPress front end, and the pages just live in a folder on the server. And that's what's been working for me. So I'm just going to show you the page that I make, and this is a stupid page, but you can see it's like mortgage broker, city, and you see I've got the variables in there. And the way that I do this, what I do is I build out a template. So I use a tool called Webflow, and there are other tools here, but this happens to be the one that I use because it's a visual HTML builder. So basically, you can build a template page like what I've built here, and it doesn't look it looks okay. It's not super fancy, but what I'll do is I'll build the template here, and then I will export the code. So it'll let you download it. This costs $16 a month to be able to download it, but so I'll download the zip file that contains this project. So it also contains the assets like CSS files and JS and images. And then I use the grab new feature in MPC to grab the page. So that's kind of what I'm doing, because I'm not going to code a web page from scratch. I mean, I don't even know if I could do that. I probably could if I really set my mind to it, but there's no reason to spend hours upon hours, writing HTML when you can just pay $16 and get something stupid like this. And it's actually pretty powerful. I mean, I'm using it for making template pages, but I mean, you can assign classes to elements and things like that, and so if you click on an element, it gives you a bunch of styling options. Pretty much any styling option you can think of, you can style anything. But I just wanted a simple page. I don't need anything fancy. I'm just trying to make these pages with enough text and a video, some maps, and a little weather widget, and just enough to where I can put a bunch of content on the page and rank it. So in this case, you can see that we're targeting mortgage broker in Colorado. There's about 380 cities that were targeted with this particular site, and I want to show you the schema markup. So I'm using the schema tool from Project Supremacy, the Project Supremacy v3, but I mean that's a pretty sweet schema tool. But Web 20 Ranker has a schema tool as well, and it's really sweet too. I mean, it doesn't get as in depth as Project Supremacy, but if you just need some schema markup, like if you want to do, local business schema, and you can see that in the schema I'm using variables, so that way all of the markup on every page is going to be different. So that way every page doesn't say Denver, Colorado, it says whatever city that page is supposed to represent. So moving on, and then you can see here I put person schema. I would generally put product schema too, so you can get the stars in the search result. So I'll usually do local business, location, product, and I've just, like as in the past couple days, I've been using Project Supremacy schema builder to make a service schema, because I've been doing home inspectors. So that's the markup that I use, and I try to get as in-depth as possible and make sure that you've got your same as URLs here. Just make sure that you're getting as in-depth as possible with the schema, and using the proper variables so that it's not identical on every page. So you can see this page is just, this is a live version of a page. You can see I've got a little video here, plenty of links. So this is linking to another page, another part of the build, and then this is just this is linking to the FHA loan page on this particular site, and this is linking to another page that's part of this build. So I also put in just the map of the city that this page is targeting, and then down here I've got the weather, I've got another map, I've got some Colorado mortgage links. Now this link right here, it says Aguilar, Colorado mortgage laws. This is just general Colorado mortgage laws. So on every page, the link is the same, but the city is different. So you can see I've just used a variable here. I've got some breadcrumbs down here. But this is the basic, my basic page build. Lots of interlinking and, a little resource section down here. Definitely want to get the zip codes in there. And then once I build the project, so this project, 380 URLs. So once I get it built, I'll hop over to index inject, and I'll drip this over. It depends on the amount of pages. In this case, I want to say I did a 4-day drip just to get these indexed, and index inject will get everything indexed almost right away. I mean, it is literally almost instant. So, I didn't want to. I know there's some people that are building massive sites with like 26,000 pages, and I'm not sure at what rate they index their sites, but just for me personally, if I'm doing 400 pages, I'm probably going to drip the indexing over a few days. And maybe that's even too aggressive. I just don't know. I just know that I've been doing it like that and I haven't had any issues. So once I get the links indexed, I'll let them marinate for a few days or maybe even a week. It just depends. If I'm real busy, I might forget that I've done this. But once I get them, once they're good, and I put them in the rank tracker and start kind of seeing them pop up into the search results, which usually happens like right away. They're getting indexed and they're in the top 100 usually. From there, I'll jump over to Ranker X, and I'll run some link building. So and I don't necessarily need to go in detail. I'll probably make another video on how to build backlinks to a mass page website using a tool like RankerX. You could also use Money Robot. So yeah, so this happens to be, I guess I must have used Money Robot. And on the Money Robot links, I'll show you what I do on the page. Obviously, we want to get a video in there. And then a map. So I just did a map of Colorado. In this case, it was for Colorado. So, and then this is, yeah, it's just a little spammy Money Robot link. But it works. You know, I mean, you don't want to go too crazy with Money Robot or RankerX. I tend to think RankerX might be a little bit, I don't know if I want to say safer, but it has more premium properties, whereas Money Robot, from what I understand, the sites that Money Robot has currently they might be owned by the Money Robot team. I don't know. That's just what I've heard, and that's how it kind of seems. But maybe somebody can clarify that. I like Money Robot. I'm not dogging it out. It works. So, you know, until it stops working, you know, we'll just keep using it. So that's kind of the thing, you know, that's just my little process, and what I'll show you is the results. It's kind of the reason I made this video. So this particular site has 289 keywords in the top 10. I mean, they're just, you know, you can see what the keywords are. And they're not like, Golden, Colorado is not a huge city, but it's a decent city. The homes are tend to be very expensive. Lafayette, I don't think the homes are expensive there, and certainly not in North Glen, but North Glen is like a suburb of Denver. So those of you who are in Colorado or know about Colorado, North Glen is right next to Thornton, which is, you know, sort of near where I live. But anyway, so these aren't just, you know, these aren't completely bogus keywords. It's not like ranking for, you know, best pink basket weaving in Podunk, Missouri. You know, these are actual cities. These are actual decent sized cities, the ones that I've just pointed out. Windsor is halfway decent. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, they're just, not all of them are good, but some of them are. But one thing that I've noticed is that this particular site is getting into the local pack in all of these cities. And these cities aren't really near, you know, they're not really near where the business is located. So I'm thinking that in these cities, the competition is just so darn low that the little bit of local signal that I sent somehow triggered it to jump into the local pack. So I wasn't really trying to do that, but that's what ended up happening. So yeah, so you can see, I mean, 289 cities. So there's like another 100 that aren't you know, that aren't there yet, or that aren't in the top 10. But we can see, if we look at the keywords, you know, starting at 11, Aspen, I think everybody's heard of Aspen, Breckenridge, Vale, Brighton, Evergreen, Parker, Loveland, Greeley, Thornton, Arvada, West. So a lot of these keywords that are in position 11 through 25 are really solid. And I'm just really happy that they ended up where they're at, because it's just going to take a little bit of pushing. You know, if I start just a, you know, halfway decent link building campaign to these pages, we'll push them up, and that's going to be a big win once these guys, get up into the top 5. And then as we kind of move on into the 30s, you can see that these are some of the better keywords, like Boulder, Aurora, Denver is in position 83, and then there's some that just aren't even there yet, so none that are, that good, I don't think. But we need to get those in, and they'll get in there eventually. But what I'm really concerned about are the keywords in position 11 through 25, because that'll be a big win once we get those into the top, maybe the top 10. But if we get them into the top 5, that'll be a lot of phone calls. So that's kind of the point of the video, and really the main point is that you can do a lot with on page, because this site, it's only got 15 links according to Ahrefs. Oh, and you can see that little chart, which I just clicked off of it. But look, see, that's a Money Robot site. That's a Money Robot site. Probably most of these are. And I know we did citations for this. I guess they're just, Ahrefs hasn't picked them up. But you can see that the link building just started. I mean, look, November 1, it had 1 referring domain, and now it's got 15. But because of the on page, this is why on page is super important when you're doing mass page sites. You can, if you spend the time getting your schema markup correct, adding videos, and interlinking the website, and doing it smart, right? So don't just put one little single link back to your homepage. Interlink the site, and then add like a resource area, like I did down at the bottom. How there's, in the example that I showed, it was Aguilar, Colorado mortgage resources, or whatever it was. But by doing that, you're sending a big signal to search engines, like, hey, this page is super relevant for that city and for the query mortgage broker. So that's been my strategy. Go balls to the wall with your on-page SEO. Make sure it's really tight, and then the links that you build will have so much more effect, just because Google likes your page. It's not like you're putting 400 words of spun crap on your site, which I know that there's a lot of mass page sites that are doing that. They'll just get a bunch of words and spin them together, and maybe that works, but you're really not gonna, you're probably not gonna win big time doing that. You really need to spend the time doing it right, and if you do that, you'll have super valuable properties. And then the last thing I just want to say here is Mass Page Creator. Some people are scared of it because it's basically it's meant for HTML. It's for building HTML pages, but it works alongside of WordPress. So if you're a WordPress person, you can actually grab a file from a WordPress website. MPC will convert that into HTML. So you can build a template with your WordPress page builder, grab the page, and then it'll look exactly like your WordPress site. And if you want to do that, you can, and it works just as well. But some people are scared because it's HTML. Nobody wants to screw around messing with a bunch of code, which I don't blame them. I don't blame you. But this is just super easy. I mean, you don't have to use the code editor. You can use the visual editor and change stuff. You can see the brackets, so these videos are spin tags. But you could edit a page, or you could build a page from scratch in the front end of this builder. or in this editor. And it would be just as easy as using the WYSIWYG editor, the what you see is what you get editor from in WordPress. So don't be afraid of HTML. And I know it's just anecdotal, but I'm finding that the pages that I build in HTML are ranking like crazy. So Mass Page Creator is definitely a big time tool. I'm not going to get into how to use it, but it's super powerful and can literally do anything. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, I'm still a noob with this software, and I'm doing some really cool stuff, and I'm barely scratching the surface. So I'll probably put a link in the description if you want to check it out. And then I'll see if I can find some other resources. I'll probably put a link to Index Inject, and then Webflow as well. So if you want to use the same resources that I'm using, RankerX is an awesome tool. Money Robot is a good tool as well. And if you're new, you might want to get Money Robot because it's a lot easier to use than RankerX. And RankerX isn't hard to use, but it gives you more control. So there's a lot more settings, a lot more stuff to mess with. With Money Robot, it's just kind of, point and click, and boom, you're getting links. So I'll leave that up to you to decide. And I hope you like this video, and I hope that you all go out and start building mass page sites and start making lots of money.